I think the most common misconception about marriage among dating and engaged couples is that things are not going to change. I think back to my own dating and engaged season. I thought that my husband would stay the same, I would stay the same, and that we would just be future versions of ourselves, just a little bit older, maybe a little more gray hairs and slower. But in reality, God changes people. He really does. Circumstances, heat from the world, pressure changes people. The misconception that we are always going to be us together the same really kind of comes to a head when your life circumstances change so dramatically that your spouse becomes a different person. And that can happen in a negative way, that can also happen in very positive ways. But because we believe the gospel, we know that God is working all things together for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose. So we can have hope as we look forward to God changing and growing our beloved spouse. I know lots of women who have their worlds rocked when they married someone of a specific vocation, and then that vocation all of a sudden is made redundant and they can't do that vocation anymore and they're changing jobs. And so their marriage vision had been bound up in being a such and such kind of wife, the wife of somebody who does this particular job, when really they're called to love that person, no matter what their vocation is. I personally have experienced struggles in my own life when my husband became disabled. 5 years after we were married, he became physically disabled, and I never envisioned myself being married to a handicapped man, but I'm called to marry, to love my spouse, whether in sickness or in health. And so having those things shake your world a bit, you need to have all of these things come under this one great perspective that all of these temporary circumstances in your life, your jobs, your financial status, your health status, all of these things about your spouse could change, but the one great permanent circumstance of being in Christ forever is where you're going to be 60 billion years from now still. So understanding that, relishing that, enjoying that, seeing the work of God indoors in your own spouse's heart through all those circumstances as well, is that one hope that you can cling to when all of these things are changing.